Traveling this bending road is always an adventure, and I'm glad we can do it together. It's easier together because no matter where we go in life, two things are for certain. One, you will eventually come to a bend in your road, and two, God will always see you through. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and click the subscribe button so that you know when I upload my next video. In this way, we travel together and we encourage each other along the way. Hi, welcome back to the Bending Road. Glad you could join me this week. This is an interesting week. Now, I've been recording on Wednesdays and I've been uploading them so that you get them on Fridays. So this is the middle of the week, and since I recorded last, it's just been kind of an interesting time. Dave's gone to a conference, so he's gone for a couple of weeks, and I'm here at the camp by myself. And it's funny how I think that, oh, if I had a day, if I had a week where I could do anything I wanted, I would rest and read, and I would get some good exercise, I would take care of myself, and I would maybe do some creative writing, which I love to do, and I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to work around camp a little bit. There's some little projects that need to be done, but you know what? After a couple of days, I wake up in the morning and I don't want to do them. I don't want to do them. And have you ever had one of those weeks, those periods of time on the bending road where it's like bend, and you're trying to keep up, and you're going, okay, I'm just really tired of this. Not that it's anything terrible, but a lot of nuisance stuff. So shortly after Dave left, it was still in that really hot period, and I was tired of it being hot, and I got to focusing on how hot it was and how sweaty it was, and I didn't want to do anything because it was just miserable out there. Well, then I got to focusing on how alone I was. I mean, I'm talking to the dog. I'm having not just oh, good doggy, but I'm having full conversations with this dog. I'm talking to the trees out there because I'm so by myself. And of course, cell signal is so bad here that you may be able to text, you may be able to actually have a phone call, but there's no guarantee, and there's no guarantee it'll last. And, well, you know, maybe I get a little tired of calling people and complaining because I think they don't want to hear any more about this, right? So then, if that wasn't bad enough, then I realized, you know, I'm running out of water. I need to go get water. Well, that's a pain in the neck, and okay, well, but I got to do that. And then there's this and that, and just thing on top of things. We've had mice in the camper, and I don't know how these things lick the peanut butter off the entire mousetrap. It is licked clean, yet I bump it. I slam the door of the camper when I come in. It will trigger the mousetraps, but they don't trigger the mousetraps. So now, you know, I actually went up to my daughter's. I decided I needed a little break from here, and I went up to my daughter's and thought this is going to be amazing. And the visit was, but I didn't sleep last night. I only got a couple of hours of sleep. So I came back today, and now I'm tired, and I have a headache, and it's like, okay, if it wasn't that, it's this. And now it is pouring. We had days of no rain, and my flowers are wilting, and now we've got pouring and driving rain. On top of that, the wind is blowing, and so I can't have the windows open, and so it's getting hot in here. And if you want to add something to that, we must have had a pretty strong wind while I was gone, because one of my trees, my little trees, is broken, and it's just snapped right off in the middle. And I'm just grumbling. And it's so easy to get inward focused and all of the trials and troubles and grumbly things. I'm probably the only one who does this, right? Yeah. I suspect you don't grumble and complain like this. You don't get inward focused where all you're thinking about is yourself and all those trials and troubles. You know, sometimes I think of the folks in the Old Testament, and I think human nature has not changed that much, that I can't believe these people were not grumbling and fussing. Noah's on the ark, and his wife is getting cranky, and it's getting hot, and so she tells him, open the window. Well, I can't open the window because the birds will get out, or you know, sends his son down to feed the llamas, and they're spitting, and they, you know, and it's still raining. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. Oh, and yeah, when I called the dog to come in because it was starting to rain pretty heavy, she wouldn't come in. She was underneath the house, and she didn't want to come out. So when she finally did come in, I had to open the door, and I got all wet. That was lovely. And, you know, then you have Jonah in the belly of the fish, and, you know, I can't believe he went right to prayer. You know, I think he was grumbling, right? Like after he spoke to Nineveh and they were saved, and he sat down under the tree and he was grumbling and fussing, kind of like the prophet who fussed and complained because he was the only prophet left in Israel, and, you know, after all I did, and this is how I get treated, and all right, I'm done. Maybe not. We'll see. Tell me, would you tell me in the comments, am I the only one who can get so inward focused that these bends in our road just pile on and pile on and pile on? And I read the Psalms. I thought, I'm going to go to the Psalms and I'm going to read the Psalms. And it was talking about the devastation and the destruction and my enemies, and I'm stuck in the mud and the mire, and I'm this and that. And I'm thinking, but nobody's out to kill me. My dog wouldn't come in out of the rain. That's all. You know, I had to go run some errands. That's all. I didn't get enough sleep last night. That's all. And I think, you know, when we look at the Psalms and we see all of those big deal trials, and we think of Jonah, and we think of Mary who was pregnant, and Joseph who didn't know what to do with this whole thing, and other, you know, I think sometimes Paul, he's shipwrecked. People are trying to kill him. Nobody's trying to kill us. All we have are nuisances, annoyances. Well, I think sometimes when we read those Psalms, we think it doesn't apply to us. But when I go back and read Jesus' words, do not let your hearts be troubled. You know what? This week, my heart has been troubled. Not over anything big, but over little things piled on little things piled on little things. He says, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and don't be afraid. My mother used to say that her favorite scripture was wherever it said, and it came to pass. And it came to pass, which means it doesn't come to stay. These trials, these troubles won't come to stay. In John 16, Jesus tells his disciples, in this world you will have trouble. Trouble. That could be big, big, horrible things. Or maybe it's just those little annoyances, those little nuisance things that pile on and pile on and pile on. I believe that what we really need to do, and what I need to do right now, is get my focus, my eyes off myself. You know, some people call it navel gazing. I think that's what it is. And get my focus off myself. Do something. Do some of that creative writing. Do some reading. Find something to do that doesn't focus on me. Maybe, Dave and I love to play Yahtzee in the evenings after dinner when we're here. Maybe I'll play a game of Yahtzee. I'll get his scorecard, my scorecard, and I'll see if I can beat him this time. I don't beat him very often in Yahtzee. It's not easy. It's not easy. I will never say it's easy. Sometimes when the trial is big and huge and massive, that's easier to deal with than all of these little annoyances, because you just get just angry and frustrated. I want to encourage you today, and I want to encourage me today. It's time to stop focusing on all of the little annoyances and do something to change the situation. Get out and take a walk. I can't do that right now, but there's got to be something else, right? The last few weeks, I've been updating you as to our situation. Well, we're still here at camp, and we're in week 4 since we moved to the Global Methodist Church and basically gave up my job and our house. And I think that's trying on me as well. I think deep down inside, I thought by now, God would see the sacrifice we made and would have provided something. Again, there's things in the works, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next week. We don't have anything that looks like it's going to be ready to go in the next 2 or 3, 4 weeks. It's going to take that long. Even if I had a meeting with a church today, it's going to take that long. It would be very easy for me to get depressed. I'll say stay depressed. And I know I'm not alone in there. There's something that you are wanting God to do for you. There's something you want God to fix. There's something you're waiting for, you're hoping for, and it's not happening. And it was easy to say in the first couple of weeks, well, we're just really leaning into God and it's really good. But you know what? It gets old not having that prayer answered. But I'm not upset with God, because I believe God is doing exactly what is right. God cannot do wrong. So where I am is where I'm supposed to be. The situation is exactly what it's supposed to be, and for that I am thankful. I don't know if I've encouraged you today. I hope I didn't discourage you today. I guess my point is that we all have troubles. We have big ones, we have little ones, we have sometimes many that all happen all at once, and sometimes we have a time of peace and quiet. Wherever you are at, focus your attention on God. Focus your attention on things that are healthy, things that are good, things that are positive. Don't sit and stare at the problem. That's not going to make it go away. And when we're making that bend in the road, if you're looking at the bend and you're looking at the bank instead of looking ahead and seeing where you need to go, you're probably going to drive off the road. Let's commit to each other that we're not going to drive off the road. We're going to stay on task. Keep our heads up. Keep in prayer. Keep in the scriptures. Read about how other people have handled things. I know that I've rambled on a lot longer than normal here, but I think it's important. I think it's important that we admit that we have days like this, times like this, and it's important that we find our way through. Don't get stuck where you are. You have an amazing week, and drop me a comment. Tell me if you relate to any of this, and I will see you next week. along the bending road. Thank you for watching, and thank you for working together along this journey. Connect with me on social media or on my website at bendingroad.weebly.com. Let me know how I can pray for you as you navigate the bend in your road. I pray that when you see the bend in your road, you will not be afraid, but will take the hand of God and keep walking. You are not alone.